A boy and a girl were out late one night when they heard a voice in the darkness. The voice startled them, but it wasn't anything that they hadn't heard before. It was a voice like the others, calling out into the darkness, whispering their name. As children, they'd often heard such whispers when they played outside after sunset. Some of the local kids claimed that those voices belonged to the damned, souls lost to the eternal darkness who wandered the earth, doomed to spend eternity seeking what they could never have again, human touch. The girl told the boy that she didn't believe in any of that nonsense, and the boy had to agree. As much as he wanted to believe, his parents had taught him not to talk to strangers, even if they were ghosts. He knew better than to reply to those whispers. But he also knew that the girl standing next to him did not. It had been her idea to stay out so late. She argued that there were no ghosts, so why should they head home? She was tired of being cooped up inside all day and wanted to explore the nearby forest. The boy had argued against it, but she wouldn't listen. And soon he was hearing her name being called out into the darkness by a voice that sounded awfully close. He tried to warn her, tried to tell her to run, but she just stood there listening. Her eyes were wide with wonder and curiosity as she replied to the voice, asking who was there. No one answered, only more whispers. The boy started to panic, pulling at her arm, trying to get her to run, but she just stood there entranced, as if listening to a song only she could hear. Then suddenly the whispers stopped. Just as suddenly as they'd started, the silence was deafening, and then the girl turned to the boy, a manic grin on her face. She looked at him with eyes that didn't quite look like her own. "I found them," she whispered back, her voice hoarse and strange. "I found the damned." Then she turned and ran into the darkness, deeper into the woods, her laughter echoing behind her. The boy wanted to call out for her, to try and get her to come back, but he couldn't. His throat was hoarse. All he could do was watch her go. And as she disappeared into the trees, he heard the whispers again, this time closer, as if they were coming from inside his head. He ran home that night, tears streaming down his face, his heart pounding in his chest. He couldn't sleep that night, the whispers keeping him awake. He tried to convince himself that it was all just a bad dream, that the girl was probably just playing some cruel joke on him. But deep down, he knew that something had happened to her, something terrible. He went to the forest the next day with some friends, searching for the girl. They called out her name, but the only answer was the rustle of leaves. He felt a growing sense of dread in his stomach, a feeling that something was very wrong. He heard the whispers again, this time right next to him, and he wanted to scream. But as he turned to answer, his friends grabbed him, their faces pale with fear. They didn't want to hear what was being said, didn't want to know what was going on. And as they turned to leave, the whispers stopped. The boy stayed in the forest until sunset, listening to the whispers, waiting for the girl. But she never came back. Years went by, but the boy never forgot. He heard the whispers in his nightmares, and he knew that the damned had taken her, that she was out there somewhere, lost to the darkness forever. He lived his life wondering what had happened to her, what had become of her, and he never stopped searching for answers. For if the damned could take one soul, then what was to stop them from taking another?